In October of 2006, Buffalo was hit with a major lake effect snowstorm that caught everyone by surprise. The leaves were still on the branches of the trees, and with over 2 feet of wet and heavy snow that fell, more than 57,000 trees were destroyed or damaged, and it prompted a state of emergency. 80% of the roads were impassable by downed trees, power lines, and branches, and almost 400,000 people were without power. I thought there was a way that I could use these trees to preserve them as opposed to having them all cut up for firewood. And one way that I came up with was to have them carved into historical and significant figures from Western New York. The trees are chosen according to certain criteria. The dimensions that we look for are the minimum of 24 inches up to about 48 inches. And typically we like anything from 8 to 12 feet high. That weighs probably, just for your information, 2,000 to 4,000 pounds. The one tree that was damaged the most was the silver maple. And I'd probably say about 80% of the trees we have are the silver maple. The chainsaw artist, Rick Pratt, carves the trees in downtown Buffalo at a private location under shelter, and he carves pretty much throughout the entire year.
Carving is like being kind of an interpreter between what you've been asked to carve and what the wood says. You try to get to a point in your mind where you feel like you're connecting with the wood and connecting with that person, and some of these people are quite old, there's not a lot of pictures. Try to pick something that shows a characteristic on their face or a certain quality that they have. To know exactly what makes a human's face that human's face is pretty difficult to say, and it's difficult even to capture. So I think that's part of the challenge. Whether or not you reach that point is, I guess it's all up to the observer. You're communicating, I guess, in a silent language.
One of the things that I think Carvings for a Cause is going to create is some cultural tourism. It already has started with a lot of tourists emailing me wondering where all these carvings are, and I think it's going to create such a great buzz around the tourism community, knowing that this is a different project than anything they've ever seen anywhere else in the United States. Certain carvings I've placed on Elmwood Avenue because it's well-traveled district in Western New York.
People who are driving from out of town are driving up and down the strip. They can sightsee and not only look at the shops, but look at the fun carvings. It just creates more enthusiasm, more excitement.
Frederick Law Olmsted and Frank Lloyd Wright were two of the top carvings that I really wanted to get done, especially with the Darwin Martin House now just going under a major renovation.
The carving is important, I think, because Wright was influenced so much by nature, particularly tree and plant forms. He believed in using materials in a very honest, direct way. So it's nice that these sculptures aren't painted white or made to look like plaster or marble. The grain of the wood comes through, so I think he would appreciate that. Part of what's happening in the restoration of the Martin House complex and Graycliff and the construction of the boathouse is preserving Wright's buildings and restoring Wright's buildings in Buffalo for posterity. It's nice there's a statue, there's a likeness of him. But a lot of these trees came from part of the parks and parkway system that was designed by Frederick Law Olmsted, one of the finest park systems anywhere in the country. There's a connection there between the asset of the great park system, the Wright buildings, and making something out of nothing and sort of turning a disaster around.
After the October storm, we've lost about 400 to 500 trees to date. The Olmsted Park System houses about 10 to 12,000 trees of the city's nearly 70,000 trees. Certain areas were hit harder than others, just changed the entire landscape. Where there used to be stands of older trees, there's nothing. Stumps, still need to be ground. It was the first park system that he designed. It was unique how he was able to link parks with neighborhoods, with the parkway and circle system, and really connect the whole city with green space. I think it's really great to have a carving of Frederick Law Olmsted. What he did for the city, designing these parks, was visionary, and just to provide that escape from urban life.
There's a lot of other historical figures that have come from Western New York. Two of them that some people might not realize, there's Red Jacket and Asa Harris.
My name is Patrick Kavanaugh, and I'm an employee here at Forest Lawn Cemetery. The tree that was used for the carving of Red Jacket was one of 2 tulip trees that were situated at the entrance of our chapel here on the grounds at Forest Lawn. Carving of Red Jacket is symbolic because he would conduct councils here at what is now Forest Lawn Cemetery, councils among the Grand Oaks as they were called. His legend carries on. The fact that so many trees were lost is devastating. However, when you stop and think about it, the trees are actually giving again. It's like a cycle of life is being completed.
Our company, the A.J. Baines Group, feels it's very important and critical for this community to give back. We chose Colonel Asa Harris, who was a Revolutionary War hero. Asa had an underground railroad stop at his tavern. There's still several caves that the slaves would use to escape. Our carving is in front of our building. People stop by almost on a daily basis to read it, and look at it, and ask questions about it. So I think it's been a great opportunity not only for us, but for the whole community here.
There are many other people that have not necessarily come from this area, but came to this area, added a lot of history to Western New York. People that we remember for many different reasons. One is Jim Kelly, who really still is known and loved in this community.
Just all the talk around town about the big storm and somebody's trying to do something to help out charities. When it came to me, I was like, sure. And of course, I didn't know that they were going to talk about doing one of me and one of my good buddies, Chris Berman. I wanted to make sure that there was a half-decent carving first. I guess it's close to the way I look, especially in the bicep form, the arms. And then he decided to put it by one of my favorite stomping grounds, a big tree. They have it right here by Ralph Wilson Stadium. It's where we all hung out back in the late 80s, early 90s when we were making all those Super Bowl runs and winning all those games here in Western New York. It makes me feel good. I mean, it's pretty good. Just took a few people getting together and a great chainsaw artist. Look what we have. I mean, not just the ones of me and Berman, but ones of the Buffalo and so many other things that I saw them do. And I don't think this is just going to stop here. I think it's going to continue. I just hope that we don't have any more major storms like that, but it's pretty cool.
Teresa Bellissimo, she has really put the chicken wing on the map worldwide.
Welcome to the Anchor Bar, the famous Anchor Bar, I should say. Therese Bellissimo invented famous wings, chicken wings. And today they're about anywhere that you go in the country and in the world, you'll find buffalo wings, and that's why we're famous. A bunch of customers come in, they sit at their bar, they got a few drinks, they got hungry, so they asked to eat, but something that, we don't want something in the menu, something different. So Teresa remembered those beautiful, big and meaty wings. She took those wings and she deep fried them, and she came out with this spicy red sauce, come out with some celery sticks and blue cheese, and brought it to the bar. He said, "Mother, what are those things?" And she said, "They're chicken wings." Chicken wings, this is an Italian place. We make everything from scratch. We don't serve chicken wings, we throw chicken wings away. And she said, "Don't worry about it, give it to your friend." And that was back in 1964. Today at the Anchor Bar, we sell about 2,000 pounds of wings every single day. We export our hot sauce as far as Japan, Italy, Germany, and England.
An unveiling is very exciting to watch because the carving comes in on a large truck and a crane has to lift it up and lower it down. Every time we do it, I'm biting my fingernails, wondering and hoping nothing goes wrong because it's quite a scene to see it lowered onto the concrete.
The Sisters of Mercy are thrilled and honored that Carvings for a Cause has placed this statue of Catherine McCauley in the front yard of Mercy Center. The Sisters of Mercy have spent 150 years trying to live Catherine's mission for the purpose of educating young women and to try to give them some means of livelihood. We are very honored that more and more people will begin to know about Catherine McCauley. For someone to creatively find a use for those trees through Carvings for a Cause is just wonderful. It's a way, I think, for people in the city of Buffalo to be connected to our history.
One of the other things that I'm ultimately hoping happens is that this project creates a buzz outside of Western New York due to all the storms that are happening all over our country, that people can use their trees for other things than just cutting up for firewood. Carvings for a Cause goal is to raise money for the project, but the ultimate goal is to raise money to put trees back in the Western New York community.